Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's main event, the Twisted by Fate show. As you settle in for the show tonight, the challengers want you to keep this in mind. Viewer discretion is advised. The challengers will be discussing sensitive topics such as mental health and addiction, and that any viewpoint is specifically their own opinion and not to be reflected as factual. If you feel you need assistance, please reach out to the appropriate professionals. And now, for your challengers, in this corner, hailing from Hagerstown, Pennsylvania, local motorcycle racer and avid indie wrestling fan, Grasshopper. And in this corner, all the way from Des Moines, Iowa, starting shortstop for the Des Moines Stars and dedicated AEW fan, Turtle Graveyard. Challengers, let's have a fun, clean bout, and let's get this started.
208. And that jump scare gets me every fucking time. I love it. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Twisted by Fate show. I am Turtle. We got your host over here, Grasshopper. How is everybody doing?
Yeah, what's good, Turtle? We're back again. If you didn't take it seriously that we were going to do another episode and keep this going, well, joke's on you because here we are.
You did drag me back. So, what did you think of the first episode?
Overall, I liked it, and let's get this out of the way now, dude. We're not going to have any technical difficulties this time. I'm plugged in, unlimited battery life, so I'm a truck driver in real life, so just like at work, hey, I'm here for the long haul, man. We ain't going to have no breakdowns this time.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this was definitely different. This was definitely a lot of fun. It got me back into the love of podcasting again. I've been doing podcasting now for like 2.5 years, and I say 2.5 years, but my shows that I was running have come to pretty much a stop in the past year and a half, maybe. I've been doing like spontaneous episodes. I just did one. The most recent one was there in October, right before I had my first laser eye surgery. And it was just straight up hey, everybody come and hang out, and let's just have everybody as a guest and hang out, because it was dude, I just don't want to go out and go have surgery and lose everything and not have a chance to do it again, just to say, hey, I love everybody. I love doing this, love being around. Anyways, yeah. So do we want to talk about when next episode will be now, so that way we don't forget to later?
Yeah, we can go ahead and knock that out if you want. We're recording just under 2 weeks after first episode, like we said. Part of the format for the show is we were going to provide some life updates. Or pass the torch to me for this, so I'll lead in. If anyone knows, cares to know, whatever, hey, this is our show, we can do what we want. I'm actually an amateur motorcycle racer. You'll hear that in our intro. Shout out Hawkeye. There's your plug, dude. But yeah, I'm a amateur motorcycle racer, and it's indoor racing season. Got a big race tomorrow, so me and Turtle put an episode together, and we're knocking this out so I can go racing tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Well, be safe on your ride tomorrow, bro. Be safe on the drive. Be safe on the actual bike, dude. Everybody that knows motocross and amateur racing, whatever, any type of racing, especially on 2 wheels, 4 wheels, whatever it might be, dude, all it takes is a second, bro. All it takes is a second. So of course, be safe. We all want you to come home in one piece. Nobody wants to hear about you in a box.
Not ready to be put in a box yet, and yeah, you're right. Sorry to cut you off. It only takes a second. I could sit here and go on about as long as you did last episode, flexing that iron lung of yours about some of the stuff I've seen. But hey, this is a wrestling podcast. We're here to talk about wrestling and show how bad by fate we are twisted.
Yes, sir. Uh, well, this past week, I got to do something really, really big for me. I got to go meet there this past Sunday in Pittsburgh at Steel City Con. I got to meet Katie Seagal, Robert Englund, and Ken Kersinger. That was huge for me. I probably cried my eyes out probably twice that day. Because I mean, Gemma and Sons of Anarchy, dude. All the twists and turns that show did with her, I absolutely loved her character. I thought her husband wrote that character very, very well. Robert Englund is really, really big for me, especially not just because of Freddy, the character, just because of where Freddy and the character Jason come from. Being horror is one of the few things that, like, me and between wrestling and horror are the two things that me and my grandma bonded over as I was growing up. So meeting some of the people that I was introduced to by my grandma mean a lot to me. And I got to tell him that, and he actually like got excited about that. Between that and whenever I had my surgery on my shoulder last January, I didn't think I was gonna meet him. So December, before I had surgery, I did a sign my stuff where I sent my one Funko Pop to him. Actually, yeah, I got to send it to him, and it showed up the day after I got home. The day after I got home from the hospital, that pop showed up. I bawled my eyes out that day too. But getting to tell him that, man, meant the fucking world. But anyways,
Is he the original actor to play Freddy Krueger?
the original, the OG.
I thought he was. I think one or two other people have done it because, as everybody, I know if you're even casual horror fans, Nightmare on Elm Street did more movies than what people may think, but I do know that, to be honest, this is just me, because I was more of a Jason fan. After Robert Englund, I can't even tell you who played Freddy the couple of times.
There was one.
Can't.
There was one in that 2010 reboot. I mean, that's where, if you play Dead by Daylight, that's where that Freddy is. The Freddy that they did the model for and everything in Dead by Daylight is straight up probably gonna tell you that it's probably just because it was cheaper. It was probably cheaper to go get the dude whose movie failed rather than going and getting Robert. And then they also brought in the survivor from that movie. Which, I mean, was really cool because otherwise they're gonna have to go get Nancy. If they're gonna bring a survivor in. But yeah, there was one other one, and it was that dude. But, well, it was a dude that I couldn't tell you either. Because I watched the movie, it was cool to watch. They did a really weird storyline with it, but either way, it wasn't great. It was good because it was Freddy, and he did certain things that Robert did very well. But the voice, the mannerisms, it just wasn't hitting. It didn't hit like Robert. Robert literally was talking shit to you as he was killing you. This dude kind of just talked a little shit, but it seemed forced. It wasn't as good. Anyways.
Yeah, anyways, obviously we're both horror movie fans, Turtle more so than me, but said before, this is a wrestling podcast, so what do you say we twist up everyone's fate a little bit and get into some wrestling, dude?
Yeah. Looks like you got Raw as our next segment.
Yeah, and honestly, for Raw, the torch is gonna have to go to you for this because I didn't have a chance to watch Raw. I had a bit of a crazy week, but also I wasn't too crazy about watching Raw because, and I'm gonna just say this now, this is the only thing I'm gonna say about WWE until after tomorrow night, which, as everybody knows, is John Cena's last match. Me personally, I'm calling bullshit on him ever wrestling again, but hey, if he sticks to his word, I'll give him all the credit in the world.
Yep.
But we've seen too many times. I'll add this side note here, then I'll get to what I was gonna say. We've seen too many times somebody retires, and I use that term loosely, and then what do? A few years down the road, they wrestle again. So that's why I call bullshit. Cena may stick to it, prove us all wrong, and if he does, awesome. He has had a hell of a career, and he's obviously a good actor, but wrestling retirement being wrestling retirement, I'm calling bullshit on him not wrestling again. But back to
Yeah. No. I agree. I agree with what you say because but here's more what I think is going to happen. I think this is going to be I think this year is the last time that he's going to be a full-time competitor. I think that there will be the crazy little, hey, Cena's going to come in and host WrestleMania. There's going to be the little, hey, one-off matches like Stone Cold did with Kevin Owens back at Mania a couple years ago. I think that there's going to be small little things like that. But as far as like coming back and doing like a couple episodes of Raw in a row or SmackDown in a row, I think that part of him is done.
he's saying after tomorrow night he's never going to wrestle again. He's came out and said he signed a 5-year ambassador contract, so he'll make appearances and stuff. But apparently he's going to be in a suit and not be in the t-shirt, hat, and jorts as they call them. But yeah, he claims he's never wrestling again after tomorrow, but I ain't buying it.
Yeah, who knows, honestly, but I'm happy either way because, I mean, we talked about this way back when, dude. I feel like they could have done his retirement tour better, but if you change up one thing, who knows which ending we would have got. The only thing, me personally, that I would have done was gave his final match to someone else. I am not happy.
Yeah, that's why what comes to Raw, I gotta hand the torch to you until after tomorrow night because Gunther, he's a damn good wrestler. I liked his promo on Raw, but Gunther being John Cena's final opponent, even though that match was made on SmackDown before Monday we just had, dude, Gunther being John Cena's final opponent is a fucking joke. He doesn't need it. He doesn't even deserve it. As good as he is, I get it. He's a top guy. You want to build him back up after he dropped the belt to CM Punk and he was gone for a few months. But this is still a fucking joke. He's got no history of John Cena. Why are you trying to copy the whole Legend Killer thing? You gave him the Goldberg retirement match.
Yeah.
Why does he also need John Cena's? And if that's not bad enough, these guys completely fucked over LA Knight. He lost to Gunther, which he shouldn't have, and then he gets written off television with a tsunami onto an SUV by Bronson Reed. What does this guy need to do to finally prove to you he can be a main eventer? He's younger than CM Punk. He's the same age as Cody Rhodes. He's gotten over on his own. He always puts on good matches.
He's loved by the fans. Holy shit. Dude, he is... I don't know which one gets a bigger pop. The yeet or the yeah. I don't know which one. Or the delete, bro. I don't know which one gets the better reaction. But I'm telling you, dude, this man...
I tell you, it's LA Knight because people is already sick of Jey Uso. They're not sick of the delete chant from the Hardys because they both did something in between from when they both went back to WWE and then Jeff got injured, then released AEW run, blah blah blah. Elite is now nostalgia, so that's why fans love it. LA Knight still consistently gets good reactions. The only wrestler that gets any kind of good reaction on the level of LA Knight is Dom Mysterio when he comes out and he is just booed out the damn building. He's a bad guy, so he's supposed to get you to hate him. That is the only wrestler getting any reaction on the level of LA Knight. And for LA Knight to get screwed over like he did last week on SmackDown, dude, I'll say it. Cena's last match is a fucking joke.
I don't even know if I'm gonna watch now because I don't want to see him get choked out. Because I'm telling you that's probably what's gonna happen. He's gonna get fucking choked out, and I don't want to watch it. I don't want that to be my last memory of John Cena, him getting choked out by someone that does not deserve it.
Not only that, answer this because this is what everyone's talking about. Would you rather see him get choked out, i.e., he passes out, or would you rather see him tap out? Because everyone's thinking he's going to tap out. Or torn between he's gonna tap out or he's gonna just like pass out.
Pass out, because then at least he never gave up. The thing on his thing, the thing on his towel, the thing on, well, no, now the towel is saying the last time is down. Sorry. The never give up. No.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
It's on the socks. I got several pairs of the socks.
Yeah, I
Every
can't.
pair of socks I have says never give up.
I can't. If they're gonna do it to him, just choke him out. Just choke him out.
Yeah.
I can't.
The mood here though. Braun Breaker's promo before LA Knight got buried, dude. That promo was hilarious when he goes, "Why does someone who swears he's never done drugs in his life, touched a sip of alcohol in his life, he looks like the biggest crackhead anyone's ever seen?"
Dude,
that was funnier than when MJF in AEW was working his program with Punk and said, "Why does someone's straight edge look like a meth addict?" Dude, Braun Breaker did MJF's promo better than MJF. That's saying something, folks. You know who MJF is.
Yes. Yeah. I did enjoy the whole "please give me the old CM Punk back." I did enjoy that. I enjoy Braun. Yes. Yes.
That was pretty funny too.
It's
funny as saying, "Why does someone who's straight edge look like such a crackhead?"
Yeah, I mean there's all of that going with it. I think that I might be a complete dumbass here, which isn't really saying too much, but I'm telling you, dude, I almost think I can see Braun Breaker breaking away from the Vision, you know? I don't know if that's just me overthinking that, but it almost seems like he maybe, or I'm just looking at it funny. But
down the line, maybe I think what they'll do is they'll keep the Vision kind of together, and then eventually, like, they'll go their separate ways. Because let's be honest, they have Paul Heyman in this group. Somebody's gonna get screwed over.
Someone's getting turned on. Someone's gonna get turned on very soon.
Well, if you remember, they just turned on Seth Rollins, so that's already out the way.
I was trying to block that out of my brain, but yeah.
Well, this is Paul Heyman we're talking about. Somebody's still gonna get screwed.
Yeah.
Show me one of Paul Heyman's clients that hasn't eventually gotten screwed. He screwed Lesnar, Big Show, Punk, Ryback, and Curtis Axel. There's a history lesson for you. Look that up.
Fair enough.
As bad as that was, actually, don't. He did it to Roman Reigns and just did it to Seth Rollins. So
yeah, I mean, it definitely could happen. It definitely could. I'm not sure which way.
Paul Heyman, it's a given. There's too much history for it to not happen. Come on.
I think I could definitely see that happening. I don't know. I just don't know who. But I could definitely see it being Braun. I could see it being Braun because Braun is now becoming kind of the head of the group, almost behind Paul. Like, as far as like the competitors, I could see Braun getting it. I could definitely see the Braun and Braun action fucking turning on Logan very soon. I'd actually enjoy that a lot if they would. I think that'd be fucking hilarious.
I personally hope they don't, because I've actually liked the Vision with Logan Paul, because one, they're doing something with Logan Paul more often since he's been there, but also, I don't know about you, I've honestly been impressed with Logan Paul since he's debuted. I mean, just his tag team match with The Miz at WrestleMania, which was his debut match, he did one hell of a job. But since then, since he decided, hey, I fell in love with this, I want to stick to it, he's only gotten better. I mean, go back and Clash in Paris, his match with John Cena, that was a classic, dude. I get it, Cena carried the match because despite his age and all the miles on his body, he's the veteran by, almost 30 years, easily.
Yeah.
But, dude, Logan Paul held his own, and that was one hell of a match.
I will give the man his flowers. Like, yeah, he's improving. He's improving for the better. He's doing very, very well. You can definitely tell that in between matches, he is putting in the work as far as whether he's down at the Performance Center, if he's wherever in between his crazy celebrity schedule, like hanging out with his brother, doing things there, doing whatever. Like I don't know his personal schedule, like what he does, but it's, in my eyes, it seems like when he does have time, he's at that Performance Center fucking putting in work.
That's the best part about him. Sorry to cut you off again. That's
No.
the best part about Logan Paul is everyone thinks when he's not on TV, he's not like putting any time in to get better. No, he actually is. Watch his debut match when he teamed with The Miz. I forget which WrestleMania it was.
I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe 3.
2 or 3, I think, yeah. But watch that tag team match, and then watch. You don't even have to watch War Games. Watch his singles match with Cena in Paris. There is a huge difference. He is way better.
It almost seems like he's partnering up with some of the veterans, you know, like kind of like what you heard Jelly Roll did with Kevin. Was it Kevin Owens? I think Jelly Roll paired with like Kevin Owens and was down at the Performance Center like for weeks before that match. I forget which paper was that. SummerSlam? Was it SummerSlam?
It was a Saturday night's main event before SummerSlam.
Okay.
People weren't nuts about it because I mean it's Jelly Roll. I'm personally not a Jelly Roll fan. I will give him credit, just like Logan Paul and to me the best celebrity to do wrestling, Bad Bunny. The guy trained, put the work in, and didn't want to look stupid. So
Yeah.
most of these celebrities, what do? They show up, do something that looks like shit, get an easy paycheck, and then you never see them again.
Yeah.
At least Jelly Roll, Logan Paul, and Bad Bunny, they like trained and were like, holy shit, this is real. I'm not gonna say the F word. Somebody sick and will kill me for that. But they legit trained and put on a good match.
Yeah. And I mean, Jelly, it just goes to his transformation, like in the past either year or 2 years when he was dropping all that weight, dude. Like that, it just goes to show. Yeah. Like dude was over 5, man. Dude was over 500 pounds whenever he started performing. And this year, like he was just on the Joe Rogan podcast talking about the fact that he's down to like, I forget if it's 2. It's like in the 2s, man. He went from over 5 to in the 2s now. That's insane. That's very, very good. And with no surgery, no surgeries. Just straight up listening to the doctors and putting in work. And yeah. I mean, we don't, as far as we know. And I mean, who knows, man, other than that, but it's still wonderful. Like for a human being to be able to put in that much mental work, because I mean, when it comes to weight loss, dude, it's a lot up here and then it's physical work. But most of the battle is up here.
Well, that's what they say about pretty much anything in life. Most of it's up here, and I brought up me being an amateur motorcycle racer. I can tell you, there's a huge mental part to that sport too. I've had times where I go out and I'm feeling really confident, and then there's other times where I'm like, I don't want to say I'm at rock bottom, but you could probably say I'm close to it, dude. Because you have good days, and you have your days where you're riding the struggle bus, as we say. So,
Dude, that even comes over to content creation, man. That comes to this, dude. I told you, man, about the fact that I've been off doing any of the whether it's the streaming, whether it's the podcasting, dude. A lot of it is just I don't feel like doing it today, man. I got a podcast today with this guest, and I got this, man. But I'm having a hard time just wanting to get to the computer to even hit the button. Man, it's a struggle. Back to Raw, man. So Raw had Logan versus LA Knight, which we talked about. LA Knight dropped that match. Io Sky faced off with Kairi Sane. And
that was a good match. I will give him. I did watch that. That was a good match.
Gunther opened with talking about Saturday night's main event, how he plans on choking out John Cena. There was a World Tag Team Championship match, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, and they defeated the War Raiders, and that was great. And also they had, I know the New Day made an appearance down at commentary, and I mean, dude, these guys, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, dude, I'm getting more sold on this team with every match. This team is very, very good, and nobody asked for it. But anytime you put AJ Styles with somebody that you don't expect him to team with, dude, he just does amazing. AJ Styles, the more and more I see from him, the more and more I wish I would have started watching TNA before Jeff Hardy went over there. As much as I love Jeff Hardy, everybody that knows me knows how much I love Jeff Hardy. But I wish now that I would have went and watched AJ Styles from the jump.
I'm one of the few fans I can sit here and tell you I watched AJ Styles from the jump. I remember back in 2006 when he was in TNA and he was in a tag team with his actual best friend Christopher Daniels, and they had a blood feud with LAX, the Latin American Exchange. It was Homicide and Hernandez were the wrestlers, and then they had Conan, if y'all remember him, from WCW. He was their manager, and dude, they put on some damn good matches. They were AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels were one hell of a tag team, and then when they split up and went their separate ways, they were still really good. AJ, I don't know what it was. I think you could say maybe AJ connected with the crowd more than what Christopher Daniels did, but even then, because when the tag team split up in late 2006, early 2007, they turned AJ Styles heel. At first, I wasn't nuts about it because I really liked AJ Styles, but over the years, it's like he couldn't do anything wrong. And AJ, to this day, because I've been watching AJ Styles for almost 20 years, and it feels crazy to say that, I have never seen a bad match from AJ Styles. Never. And I've seen him back in TNA when he was the guy. He could not put on a bad match. And to this day, at his age, after everything he's learned, all of his experience, he still can't. And that's why, but that's also why this team with Dragon Lee's working pretty well, other than also their styles are pretty similar, unintended.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The only person. Go ahead.
I just want to throw this out before I forget about it. Dragon Lee to me reminds me a good bit of a younger Rey Mysterio, a bit more than what Rey Fenix of the Lucha Brothers does. How do you feel about that?
Yes. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that the torch was supposed to be handed to either Dom or Rey Fenix, as far as kind of who kind of is showing more of who's going to take over that like best luchador spot from Rey Mysterio. But I agree with you 1000%. I think it might become Dragon Lee. I think that Rey Fenix needs some more time. I also think that people need to keep an eye on Penta, because this dude is amazing. And I watched him a good bit over there in AEW, and I think that Tony Khan fumbled on this brother duo. I think he fumbled big time on these guys, because Penta has had a damn good year since he's been in WWE. And Triple H is known to fumble some people too. I have my complaints of who he's fumbling right now. But yes, big time. Big time. Big time. But that's just the thing, man. Penta and Rey Fenix need to get back together and make a run at those tag titles.
They had them appear together on the most recent AAA show, I believe. So.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I think they're gonna do that, but with Penta being injured right now.
Oh yeah. Fair.
It's something that he's cleared, so we'll see. But it does look like, at least down in AAA, because they bought AAA earlier this year, it does look like they've the Lucha Brothers back together, but we'll see.
I'm hoping so. Because those guys put on some damn good matches with like the Elite and shit. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But another guy, it's gonna sound fucking cheesy as shit, but another guy that I put on that AJ Styles spot, like as to where the bar is as far as like top performers, man. AJ Styles and Kenny Omega, I feel like are right there together. I have not seen a bad match from Kenny Omega either.
I have. Like I said, do you want me to tell you, or you?
Please, because I just want to know if it's a match that I didn't see because it was a Japan match that I just didn't see.
I guarantee you've seen it. It was the barbed wire death match with John Moxley.
Okay, so it was before I started watching. It was before I started watching. Okay.
I'm actually surprised you haven't seen that match. It was the exploding barbed wire death match between Kenny Omega and John Moxley. If they'd have left it, how can I put this? They worked a pretty good match for what it was, but the ending of it was, well, I'll say it because I've already said it, and this is our show. We can do what we want and pretty much say what we want. We're not corporate nimrods.
Yeah.
The ending of the exploding barbed wire death match between John Moxley and Kenny Omega was a fucking joke because they built it up that there's going to be this huge explosion, something's going to happen. There's no fail-safe system. Excuse me. They have a countdown for the alarm, the explosion, whatever. And Eddie Kingston comes out to try to save Moxley, covers him up from this huge explosion, and just that's it. And everyone, even before they cut the pay-per-view feed, is like, "What the fuck?"
Okay.
That's it.
So I've heard about it then, because I my friend that got me to start watching AEW told me about that, but I didn't realize that was the same match because I didn't realize Kenny and Mox were the two in that match. He just was saying about an exploding barbed wire death match or whatever, and it had the dumbest ending ever. Okay, I just didn't realize who the competitors were, and because I didn't watch it. Okay.
Yeah, it was Kenny Omega and John Moxley. If they wouldn't have done that ending, and did something else, that'd have been a hell of a lot better than what they did do.
No, okay, so I agree then. Okay, then I agree that was a terrible decision. But I mean, the stuff that I was shown before to say, hey, go watch this, was like some of the New Japan stuff. Literally the man having a full-on match with a broom. Bro. A broom. And like a little 8-year-old girl. Dude, I'm just like, man, this man can just do fucking anything. This is amazing. And then, okay, so hearing that, no, okay, so I call that one a fluke. But yes, I agree with what you're saying.
Well, how can you agree with me if you haven't watched it? Because you did just say before I went into detail that you haven't seen that match.
I can agree that if that's the ending of it, then yeah, that does sound like that's a bad match. That sounds like, okay, so they built up. This is phenomenal. This is amazing. And then boom. It's like the firework going off, but it being a dud. You hear the gunshot, and you hear the gunshot and everything, and boom, nothing.
Yeah,
it's like shooting a blank. It's like shooting a blank.
Yeah, they basically did. If they wouldn't have done that ending, that match would have been a hell of a lot better, and I would not be sitting here saying I've seen a bad Kenny Omega match.
Okay. Anyways, bringing it back. Okay, tag team title match. Raquel confronted Stephanie Vaquer. Vaquer was out there, talking her Spanish, talking her stuff. Nikki Bella comes out.
I didn't see Raquel. I skipped through Raw super quick. I didn't have a chance to watch it, but I wanted to see some of what seemed to be pretty good, even though, like I said, I'm not happy with WWE right now because the whole LA Knight thing. Let's not get into that again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't flex your iron lung again yet.
Not yet. Soon. Not yet. Yeah, so Raquel comes out. Well, Nikki Bella makes her entrance. She has a mic in her hand. She gets up. She literally jumps up onto the apron. She's saying, "I demand a rematch." I was like, "Okay, bet. Come on, do it, give it to me, and give her the win, please." And then Raquel literally jumps the freaking barrier, grabs Bella, throws her into the freaking pole, turnbuckle pole on the outside there, and maybe, and then she's knocked out, and then Raquel jumps into the ring, starts speaking Spanish. Don't know what the fuck either one of them said, but then it just turns into that basically she's challenging her for the belt. Cool. At some point now, we're gonna get Spanish lady versus Spanish lady, and hopefully there's subtitles next time. But then we go to the Judgment Day clubhouse. We have a whole moment where Liv is there talking with Roxanne, and all the guys are there. They're all talking about blah blah blah. Happy-go-lucky Judgment Day, because Judgment Day is back, all happy with each other. Because they got my girl back. I'm happy about Liv being back.
Of course you are.
And then of course Liv looks over at Raquel and is like, "Oh, you're gonna challenge for the World Heavyweight title." And then it kind of like teasing that there's gonna be tension there. And then Raquel's like, "Oh, are you upset?" And Liv's like, "No, I'm so excited for you." And then, ooh, yay. Fine. And then next match, and Roxanne's asking Roxanne is asking if Raquel's gonna be in her corner, and she says no, she's got to go talk to Adam Pearce about getting her title match. So then Liv's like, "I'll be in your corner," and then they're hugging and being besties now, setting up some shit here. And then of course Roxanne and Lyra Valkyria have their match, and Roxanne gets the win there with a little bit of interference from our girl Liv. Because of course Liv being Liv, she got herself all mixed up in it and had a good time getting Roxanne the win. They hug and they're all excited. All things are pointing up for the Judgment Day at the moment.
Yeah, it's amazing what a surprise return will do in it, because they were teasing tension between Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, and then Liv Morgan goes out injured off a freak accident, because I honestly don't know what else to call it.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of things in life, when you're wrestling, anything can happen in an instant second. I mean, I've seen my buddy Sickened, who we'll give a shout to here in a minute when we get into the indie portion of our show. I've seen him at the start of a match, and he got, long story short, he got busted open under his eye, and dude, he couldn't finish the match. And I haven't known Sickened personally that long. I think maybe 2-3 years. We don't always talk because we're on two different schedules, because we've got two different lives.
Yeah.
I can tell you this, as well as I do know him to this point, if he doesn't finish a match, something's wrong. And I'm going to leave it at that, because everybody makes fun of wrestlers on the indies. Oh, they do a lot of stupid stuff, which they do. We'll talk about that in a bit. They're not tough, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, go to an indie show and watch. You'll see a lot of good talent, and you'll see wrestlers that appreciate what they get to do a lot more than, to be honest, a lot of the WWE guys, and even a lot of the ones in AEW.
It's kind of like when people talk about, and actually one of the things that my uncle likes to talk about when he talks about basketball, like NBA versus college. Once you make it to the NBA, you know you're set. You know you got your money, you're making your contract, all that good shit. You're set. So you see a lot more people going out with injuries. Oh, cramping. Oh, this. Oh, that. But you say that to a college basketball player. Oh, no. They're playing while cramping. They're still shooting fadeaway threes while they're cramping in their legs or their arms. Because, in a way, they're fighting for their spot. They got to, kind of like Big Jim says every now and again, you know, he's got to get his. I'm here to earn mines, you know. And I see the same shit with people in college sports versus the pros. Indie guys are out there doing that dumb shit, you know, because they're trying to earn theirs. They're trying to earn their scars now so that they can get seen. Oh, you were that guy in that indie show. Damn, you put on a good show. You went through this, and this, and you did this while also injured or while also dealing with this. Damn, we need that on our roster. Why don't you come up here and get a little bit more money? You know what I mean?
Some of it can be a little bit like too far though.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of stupid stuff I've seen. There's been exploding shoes on the Bucks' feet while doing super kick parties, bro. I've seen it. I've seen them do some dumb shit.
How about somebody who did work for AEW, Joey Janela, who set his foot on fire trying to do a fiery super kick, whatever the hell it was supposed to be? That was stupid. The dude literally started to burn his own foot.
Yeah.
And side note, they wanted that guy to be Sabu's last match when Sabu was too fucked up to wrestle anyway.
It's that guy. Yeah, I get that 100%. Sometimes the spots are not needed. Sometimes they are. Sometimes, but I mean, a lot of times that's just professional wrestling. We try something because we want it to be really cool. It fails, so we never do it again. And I mean, a lot of what you're saying is a lot of the reason why I've stopped watching WWE a lot more. I've been watching more AEW, bro. I just prefer it out here of late. Especially right now, the time period of the Continental Classic, man, I enjoy that tournament.
I haven't gotten to see it. I have seen that the biggest talking points is Claudio beating Moxley, which was a surprise, and then
dude, there's so much tension there now. Mox being known as that big tough guy, man, I don't quit, bro. The past 2 freaking pay-per-views, bro, he's tapped out.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 big matches, I wouldn't.
Oh yeah. Fair enough. But yeah.
But also, I don't know what went on. I do know it looks like Darby Allin's out of the tournament.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I'm wondering if it's Burns. I'm wondering if it's Burns from that Blood and Guts match.
I'm not sure what it is. I just know like that's one guy who's got to scale back the crazy stuff is Darby Allin, because
I love that kid.
As I said in our first episode, I listen to Jim Cornette pretty regularly. That is the one AEW guy Cornette overall likes. But even he's kind of given up on him because he does too much crazy and stupid shit, and it seems like he's hell bent on basically trying to kill himself. Like he's got that weird underdog charisma, and he's got that appeal to where the second his entrance music starts, people go nuts because they know it's him. And he's got a different look and appearance and presentation than what anyone else has. And me personally, I think pound for pound, as they say, you could argue he's the best wrestler AEW's got.
I'd say one of.
That guy, when the bell rings, Darby Allin can fucking wrestle.
Yes, he can. That's one thing that he gets criticized about a lot is, oh, he doesn't know how to wrestle. He doesn't know how to fight. All he knows how to do is just throw himself at you and jump off of stuff and do spots. That's all he knows how to do. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that guy trained at some form of a school and learned from one of the best as well. Otherwise, AEW would not have signed him. If Kenny Omega and the Elite and Tony Khan put the stamp of, hey, we're going to put you on the roster, they put you on the roster for a reason. They know you can do what the assignment is. whether the assignment is to jump off of Mount Everest, whether the spot is this, whether the assignment is this, the dude's gonna go do it. No questions asked. The guy is fearless. It's the reason why I got appealed to him. You know what? We talked about the fact that I missed some of AEW. Want to know what it was that drew me over to check out AEW? What got me to go over? No, actually. I was in the bathroom, taking a shit, and I was doom scrolling Facebook Reels, okay? Doom scrolling Facebook Reels. Want to know what promo came up? One of my favorites from when I was a kid, Sting. Sting came on my Facebook Reel. I was like, oh, what's Sting doing right now? Sting's talking to MJF. Sting brings out the Joker and starts throwing pom-poms at MJF. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? What is this? Who's that guy that looks like he could be Sting's kid? Oh, that's Darby Allin? What's Darby Allin doing? Who's this guy Darby Allin? So I started Googling YouTube stuff, looking at who this guy Darby Allin is, and I'm just like, you know what? You know what this guy looks like he could be? He looks like he could be the mixture of Jeff Hardy and Sting. Two of my favorites from when I was a kid.
Well, he only gets compared to Sting because of the face paint. He gets compared because of the fearless, crazy stuff he does. That's who he gets compared the most to is Jeff Hardy. But I'm glad you mentioned MJF because you said Darby's known for doing the crazy stuff, the spots, jumping off the stuff. He can't wrestle. Dude, watch his match with MJF at Full Gear. I'm not sure which year it was. I'll look it up when we're done. At Full Gear one year, Darby Allin and MJF were the opening match. Dude, hell of a wrestling match. Emphasis on wrestling match. And if that's not enough, I said, when you said, oh, you know what turned me on to AEW? And I said Darby Allin, CM Punk. Darby Allin, when CM Punk came back to wrestling, Darby Allin was CM Punk's first opponent.
Really?
That was a hell of a match. Yeah. When CM Punk went to AEW after, almost 10 years away from pro
A
wrestling?
freaking decade away?
Close to it. His first match was against Darby Allin. And it was a damn good match.
I'm telling you, man. That kid. Freaking love him. When I went to the one con last year, did my face up like Darby and wore my Darby shirt whenever I went to go meet Charlie Hunnam. But yeah, anyways, I'm really segueing us away. Final grades for WWE Raw this week. Okay, when I looked at everything, when you look at everything, couple of the matches, kind of mid. When you look at where Raw leads you into the rest of your week, I want to give it an F. When you think about what content was on the TV, dude, I can't discredit that AJ Styles tag team match, bro. So I gotta at least give it a C, just because that gave me an A. So what's an A and an F add up to? It adds up to a C. I only know that because of being in school. I failed every test, but I did my homework, so I got C's. But yeah, I that's about where I can give it. I can look at the fact that Roxanne Perez and Roxanne Perez and fucking who the fuck was that she faced? Lyra. Yeah. That match left me with the warm and fuzzy feeling in my tum tum because it was a good match. The tag team match, warm and fuzzy in my tum tum, good match. Everything else that was on there, shit. So I gotta give it a C. C minus, just because of what they had to do to my boy LA Knight. But other than that, is there anything you gotta add?
Nope. Like I said, Raw was torch was yours this week, dude. Like I said, after what they did to LA Knight, losing to Gunther, and then what I heard they did Monday, and then finally getting a chance to see it before we recorded. Yeah, Raw this week was was all year. WWE period was all years this week, dude. Even though I was able to offer some stuff, but yeah, for me, WWE boils down to one thing this week until after tomorrow night when we've got John Cena's last match to talk about. WWE, the hell with them for a week because Gunther being John Cena's final opponent is a fucking joke, and an even bigger fucking joke is what they did to LA Knight.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to move on from WWE in this show if you are.
I am good with moving away from WWE.
And that's where we get into indie wrestling, which you heard it in the intro from Hawkeye. There's no plug for you, dude. I'm an indie fan. I've been going to indie shows the last 2-3 years now. And when I say indie shows, I mean independent wrestling, which is smaller promotions, good bit of them local. Where I live here in Hagerstown, Pennsylvania, there's, I said this in our first episode, there's Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, which is owned by James Ellsworth, who, if anybody remembers Carmel Ellsworth, James Ellsworth and Carmella in WWE, yes, that's him. They go up and down Maryland. I've been to a good bit of their shows. That's where I met Sickened, who's the kingpin and leader of Rod City's Most Wanted, and a personal friend of mine. I go to SWA, Summit Wrestling Association, a good bit. I've been to Voltage Championship Wrestling a good bit, which I went to their show on Black Friday 2 weeks ago, before we recorded our first episode. And I've been to Honorary Wrestling Federation, HWF, in Lewistown, PA. I believe that's, I would say it's kind of in the Pittsburgh area. I'd say it's a bit more close to Harrisburg, but been to a couple of those shows. They put on some good shows. I went to an EPW show, Enterprise Pro Wrestling. They put on a good show. Saw some wrestlers I knew. Saw some others I hadn't heard of or seen before. Saw some wrestlers I liked. Saw some I didn't. Overall, got to check out a new promotion. Well, new to me anyway. Had a good time. So, to provide some indie wrestling updates, it looks like one of my favorite wrestlers on the indie scene, the Neon Ninja Facade. It looks like at the end of 2026, he's going to call it a career. I truthfully hope that's not the case, but it looks like it is. He said he's been wrestling for 20 years, and he's been fortunate to be overall pretty healthy, all things considered. So it is going to suck to see Facade ride off into the sunset, but hey, I've seen him. He's a hell of a wrestler. He's got a pretty good high flyer technical wrestling style. So if he feels it's time and he's ready to do something else, more power to him. I've enjoyed matches I've got to see of him, and hopefully I can see him before he retires. Another update I want to share is, this is actually going to be more of a plug than an update. I mentioned Riot City's Most Wanted, and the leader, the kingpin as he's called, Sickened, who's a personal friend of mine. Sickened, if you're listening to this, I want you to be our first interview episode.
Hell
So
yeah.
if you're hearing this, Sickened, we want to get you on here. Well, at least I do. Turtle's anxious to interview someone, and me personally, who better to interview first than the Kingpin.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And then another update I've seen is the last SWA show I went to, Summit Wrestling Association, was back in November. It was their 20th anniversary show. It was November 1st. Good show, top to bottom. And for some nostalgia, because this guy was there. If anybody remembers Super Crazy from ECW and then WWE at one point, he was there. Wrestled in a three-way match for the SWA Showcase Division Championship. It was him, the champion Prince Machiavelli, and Jesse Orion. It was basically an Extreme Rules match. Solid match. Super Crazy was hilarious in the match. he'd get hit with a weapon, he would turn and in his accent he'd go, "What the fuck?"
Dude,
This is
that's
a
awesome.
hardcore match. Yeah, this is a hardcore match to bring out the weapons, and I could not stop laughing at him. And then the main event, well, before we get into the main event, the biggest thing from that show that everyone's talking about is there was a match for the SWA Mid Atlantic Heritage Championship. It was the Red Sire, AJ Sykes versus Common MK. And long story short, TJ took a shortcut, you could say. Me personally, he saw an opportunity and kicked the door open to hold the first championship in SWA he's never held, I believe. If anyone can correct me on that, feel free to do so. Main talking point from that show is after the match, TJ ripped off Common MK's mask, and everybody knows to a masked wrestler what is the most disrespectful thing you can do.
Take off their fucking mask.
Yep, and if you follow SWA on social media, several people have laid in their thoughts. Me personally, I didn't think he had to do that, but overall, TJ and Common put on a good match. And then the main event was for the SWA Crown Championship, which I believe is their world championship. Not 100% sure, just because they have different names for their belts. Not making fun of them. I'm just saying if that is the world champion, then somebody correct. I'm just saying somebody correct me on that because I'm not 100% sure, but it was the main event, so it had to have been. It was another wrestler I've come to be a fan of, Red Dog versus Andino. It was a lumberjack match. Sorry for coughing. Been a bit under the weather all week. They put on a good match, and at one point in the match, Andino got posted, hurt his shoulder, and Red Dog, like he should have, capitalized on it and made Andino tap out. And yeah, before we get into our main topic, that's about all the indie wrestling updates I have. Other than coming up on Sunday, December 28th. I almost wanted to say January because let's be honest, time's flying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Adrenaline, yeah. December 28th, Adrenaline Championship Wrestling is going to have their annual King of Maryland tournament. So, unfortunately, I'm not able to make that. But if you can, look up Adrenaline Championship Wrestling and attend one of their shows. They put on a solid show, top to bottom. The opening match to the main event, you are not going to see anything you don't like, and you get to. I've said this before about every indie promotion I've been to. You get to meet the wrestlers. They're nicer to fans than a lot of the big time wrestlers, which we'll get into why I say that in a second. And you can get really good seats and not have to pay a fortune for them like you do for WWE.
Dude, I just was looking at that shit, bro. I wanted to see if I could like last minute chime in and grab some fucking tickets for tomorrow night, dude. $400 still for one seat up in the nosebleeds, back row.
Yeah.
Like the farthest you can be away from the ring is still $400.
Yeah, dude. Every indie show I've been at, I've sat front row, and the most I've paid for a ticket was a little over $100. Here's the thing: I got in one combo package, I got a front row seat and an autograph 8x10, and got to take a picture with a legend from pro wrestling. I got to do it with Kurt Angle, Teddy Long, Gangrel, and believe it or not, even though I wasn't crazy about him, but he was entertaining because he could talk. Believe it or not, I actually got to do that with Enzo Amore, and
Fucking
I even
Enzo,
got
bro.
to, yeah. And my first wrestling convention I ever went to, I bought combo tickets. It was another front row seat / autograph and photo op combo. and got to meet DDP.
Oh shit. DDP would be cool to me, man. DDP would be cool.
It was, dude. He was a really nice guy, and I got to meet him, take a picture with him during the day, and me and the girlfriend I had at the time, we went and got something to eat. And when we came back, we had front row seats, and ACW put on a good show. So
Spunk.
aside from a big name guest, the most I've paid to sit front row at an indie show, 40 couple bucks, dude. And that's only 40 couple because obviously if you buy online, they charge a stupid fee for who knows what the hell.
Yeah. I do gotta say, man, like the one and only, like I've been to 2 indie promotions. I've been to House of Pain way back, and I was with my stepdad and my brother. We went to a couple of their shows, and I mean that was fun. I have no idea what my stepdad paid, but yeah, dude, that whole like the indie guys just like hang out at. They have their little merch tables that everybody hangs out at, that they hang out at, like when they're not like. I think it's when the show's not going on and when there's an intermission, because like House of Pain did like intermission like part of the way through. It was probably so that everybody could like reset and all that good shit. Whatever. It was cool. It was cool because like then all the guys that like if you saw somebody like in one of the opening matches and you were like, oh shit, I like this guy. He comes out to his table. You buy his shit. You get a photo with him. All the good things. And then the other one was last November. I went to that MCW fan jam. MJF was there. Big time thing for me because AEW guy. AEW's former champion being there. Doing the thing. Got to meet the dude. It was great. MCW, never heard of him. Never knew who the world they were. Just the fact that MJF was going to be there. That was the only thing that drew me there. But then they sold me. I bought the One Tag Teams t-shirt. I hung out with them for a few minutes, talked to them, got a picture with them. Dude, they were awesome. The whole top to bottom, just like you said, bro. Top to bottom. Yeah. MCW show was stacked, bro. It was awesome. And what's his name was there? James Ellsworth. He showed up, he did a dumb thing, he got kicked in the face. It was great.
Yeah, you know it's great when you see James Ellsworth get kicked in the face.
I'll be the top tier. Shut the fuck up, Spunk.
Well, another thing I need to mention, I don't know how I forgot about this. March 9th, Voltage Wrestling announced 2 weeks ago at their Black Friday show I was at, March 9th in Boonesboro, Maryland at the Vantage Hall. I guess they're only calling it this because what else do you call it? Because let's be honest, me personally, I'm not too crazy about the AEW Blood and Guts name, but you gotta call it something. Anyways, March 9th, Boonesboro, Maryland, Vanish Hall. Voltage Wrestling is gonna do a War Games match. And I'm really looking forward to that. I can't wait to see how they pull it off. And I definitely more so can't wait to see who's in it. I can sit here and name drop who I hope is in it, but I'm honestly not going to because one, if I'm right, I'll obviously be excited, but the biggest reason I'm not going to sit here and name who I hope is in it is because if any of them aren't, I'm probably going to be a little disappointed. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Voltage Wrestling puts on their War Games match. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm definitely going to be there.
You have to remind me a little bit closer so that way maybe we can go. But yeah,
this is going to go on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and wherever podcasts go. It ain't going to be hard to remember. March 9th.
Yeah, fair. All right. Next, you wanted to get into big time versus indies, which is better?
Yeah, this is the main topic of our episode this time. It's Turtle said it, big time versus indie wrestling. Which one's better? And you've got Turtle, who's probably been to more big time wrestling than me. I've definitely been to more indie wrestling than Turtle. I mean, I just sat here and proved that for the last, 15 minutes? So, Me personally, I'm gonna come out and say I honestly think indie wrestling is better because one, fans aren't charged an arm and a leg for admission. They're not charged an arm and a leg for merchandise. They get to meet a wrestler if they happen to become a fan of them. They'll get to meet them, take a picture with them. They'll get to have a good seat in the venue and not have their vision obstructed, so they'll get to see everything. They're not going to sit in a nosebleed seat and have to either watch a huge LED screen if you're lucky, or honestly, you might as well go old school and bring binoculars with you in some of those nosebleed seats because you can't see the match.
Yeah.
But also, here's the biggest thing for me why I'm gonna say for me, indie wrestling is better. As pro wrestling has evolved over the years, where are a lot of the big name wrestlers coming from? They're coming from the indie scene. Rhea Ripley, who's probably my favorite lady wrestler now, right now. She's from Australia, but she was on the indie scene. She was in Riot City Wrestling in Australia. CM Punk, you could say CM Punk was the first indie wrestler to make it big because everybody knows him from Ring of Honor. And I've seen some clips of his time in Ring of Honor. That guy had some damn good matches. And then since I mentioned Ring of Honor, here's some other people that had good careers with the big time wrestling companies. More specifically WWE because AEW hadn't been around until 2019. Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, whichever name you want to call him, he had a hell of a WWE career. But where'd he come from? He came up on the indie scene, even though yes, he was trained by Shawn Michaels.
Hey,
And
one of our
we mentioned
viewers,
CM Punk.
just said indie seems more personable, and that makes for a better fan experience. Unless you're just a casual enjoyer, the casuals probably enjoy the bigger venues just for the experience. I agree, 1000%.
Agreed. Agreed.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
Agreed.
Go ahead.
You can't beat the experience. Agreed. But yeah, but look, a lot of the big name wrestlers from the last, you could say, 10 years, dude, they came from the indies. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. Those four names right there, dude. That's how WWE found them. They were on the indie scene.
I gotta counter that with one thing. And that's gonna be Zack Ryder / Matt Cardona. The only thing I have to say about it is I think that he is actually enjoying and is more getting to do more of what he wants there in the indies than when he was Zack Ryder. That's the only thing I have to say about it.
Well, then that's where, well, that's also where you could make a point of indie wrestling being better because I didn't bring him up because I wasn't sure how to make that point, but I think you kind of helped me out with it. When WWE released him, you could see his Zack Ryder up until he got released. This guy's actually good. He just needs to be given a chance to show what he could do. Well, when he went to the indie scene and reinvented himself, he proved how good he was. Now, why WWE hasn't called him, but they hired his wife, Chelsea Green, you don't understand that. Figure that one out yourself. But then also, who's the WWE champion right now? The top guy in the company? Cody Rhodes. He was Stardust, asked to be released from his WWE contract, hit the indie scene, and showed how good he actually is when he became the American Nightmare. And then when he got into some backstage issues with AEW, I'm just a fan, I can say it because he's came out and said it. AEW disrespected him, his contract expired, and he said, "You're going to see how good I am and what I did for this company when I'm gone." And sure enough, he goes back to WWE. What happens? But
He's put on some
if
good
he didn't
shows.
ask, yeah, but if he didn't ask to be released in, I believe it was 2016, while he was still Stardust, we probably wouldn't have the Cody Rhodes that we do. He hit the indie scene and showed how good he was. And also,
He,
side note,
yep, go ahead.
I meant to throw this in earlier for you. We were talking about the Elite when they, them bringing in Darby Allin. It wasn't them. Cody's the one that discovered them.
Really?
Because, yeah, 2 more good matches that prove Darby Allin can wrestle. Watch his first 2 matches with Cody Rhodes.
Oh,
They are classics.
for sure.
I mean classics, dude.
And that's
Yeah,
just
it
what I
wasn't the
mean.
Elite that discovered Darby Allin. Cody Rhodes saw Darby Allin and brought him into AEW.
And
The Elite,
that's just
sorry,
the
bro,
brains.
it was Cody Rhodes.
But that just goes to show. Like, yeah, Cody's got big brain, man. Cody's doing very good stuff right now. Cody is our QB1, man. Gotta say. Sorry. He's doing great. And yes, I agree with you 1000% that Matt Cardona, Cody, some of these other guys, yeah, they go to the indies, man, they reinvent themselves. Shit. You even just brought up another one, fucking Enzo Amore. Real one, or whatever the fuck he's going by right now. Dude.
Real one. But they still say formerly known as Enzo Amore. They still point that out.
Oh shit. We get it. We want to give Cody some big. Shut the fuck up, Spunk. Anyways, yeah. Sometimes going back to the indies, going back to your roots, reinventing and redoing everything. Whether you find a home there like Matt Cardona, whether you find your way as finding your new character, and finding what actually you can be, kind of like I'm kind of trying to hint at what Cody did, or maybe just continuing to do what you did, and you're just not, and there's just not a spot for you on the big stage like Enzo. Whichever way the indies can help you, I think that's what they're supposed to be there for. They're supposed to be there as that place you can go do your thing and find yourself, or just be yourself and just enjoy doing it. Whichever way you want to use the indies, it seems like they're the best place to go and try new things. Even like say, let's try to think of somebody that has a good character right now. Say, I'm trying to think of like a character that can just go down to the indies and just ride that shit out. Fucking Alistair, bro. Fucking Alistair, man. I feel like he's personally being fumbled, but I feel like if he just wanted to go ride his character out and just, even if he just wanted to tinker with something brand new down in the indies, dude, he would love it. He could just go kick more people's in faces.
Well, he's another one that came up from the indies. He was called Tommy End before he went to NXT and became Aleister Black. And then he
Came Malachi.
Yeah, I think Malachi Black was a bit of a darker version of Aleister.
Dude, I love the House of Black. I fucking loved him. The House of Black was so good. Tony Khan fumbled so bad. Sorry. I'm good. We
could probably make a whole episode about Tony Khan fumbling. We can't do it here because our editor would probably kill us.
I could go on for 3 fucking hours.
Yeah. Well, we ain't got 3 hours, so yeah, for me on our main topic, big time wrestling versus indie wrestling. Me personally, dude, I'm also gonna say I'm gonna take indie wrestling. So, floor is yours. Break it down and give us your side. Which side are you on?
I'm so in the middle on this. I'm so in the middle because okay.
Don't work that way. You got to twist the fate and pick a side.
I feel like the indies is very, very good for younger fans. I feel like the indies is very, very good for them because they can watch a couple matches or they can go to watch an entire show, whichever way that promotion does their thing. And then at the end, they can go meet their people. They can go enjoy themselves, meet the people, buy the merchandise, do whatever it is that they do. Big time is very cool because if you're not at the show, you can watch it on the TV. But of course, there's probably YouTube shows. There's probably ways of still watching indie shows whenever you're not there. But the mom and dad that just want to throw on wrestling TV on TV or streaming service, whatever way they're doing it now, for their kid, of course, has to throw on either WWE, AEW, TNA, or NXT. And they have to do that for their kid that wants to watch wrestling. Yes, everybody's going to want the nice, pretty merchandise that WWE and AEW make for their people. But it's so hard for me to choose because I can battle both sides. Nostalgically, dude, I absolutely love WWE for certain reasons. Nowadays, now that I'm 30 and even in my late 20s, I've been enjoying AEW so much more because I enjoyed the fact that I paid literally $100 and was 10 rows back from the ring when I went to see AEW live. I paid $100 and was that close. Yes, I agree with your point. Being able to pay $40 or $20 or whatever and being ringside, bro, that's amazing. Legitimately. The hardworking guy or the mom that is literally waiting tables to be able to provide food on the table for her kid only is able to spend maybe $10, $15, $20 to take her kid to watch a wrestling show. And they want to be as close as possible. Because you want that kid to get a high five from the guy that he's liking and cheering at that moment. You want that, bro. When I went to that MCW show for the MJF, okay, I bought GA. I bought general admission, so of course I was gonna be somewhere in the back. I went up and said, "Hey, do you happen to have any of the ringside or any of the more advanced tickets left that didn't get sold?" And he said, "Yeah, I got these. It'll be a $5 upgrade." I was like, "Okay, bet. Here you go. Here's my thing. Here's $5." And he wanted to put me in this one spot. When the show was getting started, everybody was being let in to get their seats. Someone was in my seat, and they showed their ticket that it was the same exact seat that I was supposed to be in. I was like, "Okay, my bad. I'll go talk to the guy because I literally just upgraded my ticket. I'm not going to tell you to get away from it because, of course, you bought this way back when." I took it to the guy and said, "Hey, man, there's somebody in the seat that you just sold me." He walked over with me and he looked at the person's ticket and I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm not trying to start no trouble. I just am doing my thing, trying to get something that I paid for." They were like, "Okay, yeah, no problem." They gave me a high five and they said, "Whatever, get the fuck out of my face." I did. We went over. Tell me why. Okay, so that seat that I originally was being given that was taken was right at the entrance ramp, okay? Like front row there at the entrance ramp. Dude gave me front row at the ring. Like, I ain't complaining about that. That's $500 to WWE, maybe even $1,000. That's actually like that's $6,000 for Cena's last match tomorrow. That's $6,000.
Yeah.
$6,000. I got for $25 because it was only $20 for the general admission to that show. So, if I have to pick one,
What you do? I put you on the spot. You gotta pick one.
If I have to pick one, I'm probably going indies. Yes, I'm not as experienced to like be able to say it. That's the thing. But I feel like it's better for the future, which is the kids. I'm getting to that part of my old age where I'm saying that the future being the kids are going to enjoy the indies more because you can be more personable with everybody. The indies is great, and it's a great place that even if you hit the big time and you fuck up, you can go back to the indies and reinvent yourself. So the indies is a stomping ground. So I feel like that, in a way, that's better. And whenever these people get their contracts cut, because you know how nowadays, dude, you're seeing on Facebook, you're seeing online, you're seeing on WWE.com, where they're showing the people that are getting cut, and they're being, "Hey, we're releasing these people." Where do they end up in 2 weeks? Where do they end up in 3 weeks? They end up in the indies. Shotzi, fucking Gigi, fucking everybody else has been released. They either end up in a few months at AEW, or they end up in the indies.
Look at someone else who got released and hit the indie scene and finally showed how good he was, even though WWE gave him some extremely small chances to show that. Nick Nemeth, dude, he's been killing it on the indie scene. And for those who don't know who Nick Nemeth is, that's Dolph Ziggler.
Or fucking Nikki from the Spirit Squad, I think. I think it was Nikki from the Spirit Squad.
I think he was actually Mitch.
Was it? Was he Mitch?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they played off of his name, and just did Nikki. My bad. Yeah, I just knew his original thing was Spirit Squad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, the guy who started out as a male cheerleader turned out to be
big time,
one
bro.
of the best wrestlers they had, and WWE fumbled him, and he hit the indie scene, went to TNA, and dude, he's done a hell of a job in TNA.
Dude.
And in fact, he still does work on the indie scene a bit. I've mentioned Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, who James Ellsworth owns and operates. James Ellsworth has brought Nick Nemeth in a couple of times.
Telling you, man. Some of these people, I mean, remember way back when the Hardys, when they first got signed to WWE, that they were the freaking jesters opening the freaking doors for I think it was King of the Ring, when I think they actually were. I think that they were actually there as the people opening the doors when Stone Cold did the Austin 316 promo. I think that was all the same night.
Maybe.
But I can go on a tangent about that.
If it involves the Hardys, I'm pretty sure it's not going to take much for you to flex that iron lung and go into a tangent.
Yeah. Which is more fun to attend? We kind of already touched that. Which has better wrestlers, though.
Overall, I'm going Indies. So you gotta pick a side, dude. I put you on the spot.
Which is more fun to attend? For if we're talking about adults that want to just drink beer and enjoy wrestling, probably, yeah. Yep. But which has better wrestlers? It depends on what your definition of better wrestlers is, to be honest with you. I mean, I want to say that that's supposed to be big time, but here of late, they're sending so much of the better talent to the indies. They really are. And I mean, how can we look at the better of the two big time shows being Monday Night Raw and give it a C or an F, but I can sit here and talk about a couple of the good reasons to go watch Dynamite, which has lower fucking ratings every week consistently. But I tell you right now that I prefer watching Dynamite 9 out of 10 weeks than Monday Night Raw. And that's all year, ever since it's been on Netflix. But
I haven't seen too much AEW though, because I don't have cable anymore, because let's be honest, everything's basically went to streaming. So I've had to kind of play catch up, but truthfully I haven't felt like it, because all that content, when they finally got backlogged onto HBO Max, I was like, you know, as much as I like AEW and still try to keep up with it, I'm not sitting through all of this.
yeah, no, I don't blame you. I just if I'm at one of the two jobs, I'll watch it while I'm there. But yeah, most of the time I'm just like, what's going on? Who's on? Okay.
Although,
yeah.
which one has better wrestlers? That's the tough one, because you could maybe say the Indies does, because hear me out on this. WWE earlier this year launched their ID program, and some fact checker is gonna correct us. I'm pretty sure ID stands for Independent Development, which means the wrestling schools are basically indie promotions training wrestlers and then putting on indie shows. They're bringing in the pick of the litter as far as the indies go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could say that's a case for the indies having better wrestlers, but at the same time, I understand WWE trying to bring in high-profile athletes who have never wrestled before and teaching them their style.
Yeah.
Because WWE is obviously the most professional ran promotion. Okay, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But at the same time, they're obviously doing this ID stuff for a reason. So I don't know. As far as the specific point of who has better wrestlers, that one's actually tough for me. Which I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't acknowledge that. I went straight for the overall.
Yeah.
If you want to make a specific point, who's got the better wrestlers? I'm gonna have to call that down the middle. I'd say it's even.
I want to stick with that too because I feel like as soon as they cut people, there's certain times I've just been like, you're screwing yourself over by cutting this person. You're screwing yourself over by cutting this person. Because I'll say that Triple H fumbled Ricochet, in my opinion. Because, I mean, he's doing some good stuff over there in AEW. He's doing so good as a fucking heel, bro. I fucking hate his bald ass right now. Because he's just being a fucking asshole. But WWE never gave him a chance to be a heel. And I'm telling you right now, him playing heel is top tier content. He makes you hate him so fucking bad. And it's so good.
Maybe you're on Twitter.
It's so good. I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, they should have given him the chance because it is so good, dude. It is so good. But they just want him to be this, oh, I can just flip off of this and jump around at this and oh, the fans love me. Yay. No. He found a fucking needle in a haystack when he got told, hey, go be an asshole. Hey, go be a heel. Because he's so good at it. Dude, the ball chants that the fans do at him is so good. It is so loud. And it's great. It's great. But dude, his
You're more fun to piss people off and get them to hate you than it is to get them to like you.
It is. It is.
Of course, you could say that's true about life in general, but I do believe that that's a saying used in professional wrestling.
Yes. And his feud with Swerve Strickland was so good, dude. Like, it was amazing. And now he's feuding with the Hurt Syndicate, and it's very good as well. Meeting indie wrestlers versus meeting big time wrestlers. This is going to be very, very hard for me.
Yeah, we could probably. Actually, I'm not fully sure how much we could go on about this because I don't believe you've met too many indie wrestlers, but also the big time wrestlers either of us have met, they're not exactly wrestling anymore. Even though, so you can say all we've got to go off is, I guess, basically stories people have shared because, what did I say the first episode? If you have any kind of celebrity status, or not even that, just a regular person, which is what this podcast is. It's two regular friends sharing their views and opinions of pro wrestling. The way of the world is today that you do or say anything, it's on the internet and lives forever, like that.
I mean, I'll tell you, meeting the couple people that I met at that MCW thing, and then meeting the couple active wrestlers that I've met, and then meeting the semi-retired, I guess, and then next week meeting a fully retired wrestler. I'll tell you, it was really cool having nobody recognize Swerve Strickland until he walked up to his table and I was like, it's the Dreads! Whose house? Because, dude, he walked right past me. He walked right past me, bro. And he had a
I can't
line.
laugh out because I can picture you going, "Whose house?" Sorry to
Dude.
cut you off, but I had to say that.
Dude, I said whose house, and the whole line went Swerve's house, and I was like, we did it! I love it. Dude, I just got so excited. I'm telling you, man, it was a wonderful experience. But yeah, meeting him, meeting Adam Cole, meeting MJF, and then the Hardys being the semi-retired, I guess. But they're still going. But either way, I'll tell you, that's about where I'm at with it. Like, they're all so nice. Like, Swerve gave me 10 minutes to talk to him. Like, we just talked about like how his relationship with Nana actually is, and how Nana has actually taught him a lot going forward with everything. Like, Nana apparently was a wrestler before he was the manager, and that to me threw me for a loop, because that man is, yes, he's a great dancer, but he does not seem very coordinated whenever he's taking hits. But I digress, bro. Like, dude, it's a great thing. Like, just realizing like how real these people are. Adam Cole, dude, that guy, he stood there and talked to me for at least 5. MJF hardly gave me the time of day. But that's because he stayed in character.
I was gonna say, I don't think we gotta get into MJF.
But Adam Cole, like, it was so cool to meet him and talk to him for the 5 minutes that he gave me, and then we took a picture together. Like, I met him last December at the con I was just at this past weekend. He was there, and he was one of the sweetest people I'd met up to that point. Because like, he was talking to me a little bit, then he was talking about like my background and like wanting to be in wrestling, and like just how much wrestling meant to me as a kid and everything. And he was just like, man, you're just like, it's like looking at a younger version of me, and I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing. But yeah, I gotta say, it impacts me more when I meet big time people, but I think that's just because of how, whenever you're meeting that person, you're meeting that character that you see on TV every week or whatever. Because up until that point, like, one of the biggest things for me was like the MJF and Adam Cole tag team. Like, that, yeah, they weren't a tag team anymore at that point, but like, there was that whole like time period, and I have like 3 of their t-shirts that they made. Like, that tag team meant a lot to me. So, and then getting to meet MJF in November and Adam Cole in December, like, that was huge. But so to me, that's where I draw the line, is like, meeting indie wrestlers is really cool, because you get to see and meet somebody, and they're personable with you, and you can tell that they're as excited as you are, because they don't have like the big name or anything. Like, they're not John Cena, but they're meeting a person who enjoyed what they did that day, and hopefully will come back to another show and see them and have their t-shirt on, and come up and meet them again and say, hey man, this is my second time seeing you, and dude, I can see where you're improving, and I can see where you're growing, and I can't wait till someday I see you on TV. Like I feel like that's what I feel whenever I'm meeting an indie wrestler. And that's what I felt like whenever I was meeting the Zukos. But meeting a big time person, that's the little kid in me saying, man, I remember watching you on TV, and I remember seeing you do this, I remember seeing you do this, and it made me feel this way. And you see that big time name just like taking in your stories and what you have to say about them, and how they impacted your life, and how you're actually making them feel that day because of what they did for you.
That's honestly, to me, a pretty good way to wrap up our main topic here, because every big name wrestler I've met is honestly retired. I've met Kurt Angle, he was really nice, but didn't really get to talk to him because, dude, he literally had a line literally out the door where he was at. I'm not kidding. It was literally out the door. But he was super nice. I get it. You know, huge line. They're doing his meet and greet before the show, so they kind of want to hurry along. I get it. But he was super nice. He seemed legit happy to be there and enjoying it, which for a lot of big name wrestlers that do conventions and stuff, I've heard that's not always the case. They act like they're too good to be there. I met Mick Foley, who he was really nice, which he's got that reputation. One thing that was funny was his first book, Have a Nice Day. Before I went to, it was my first ACW show, and that's how I discovered ACW and started going to indie shows. Met Mick Foley, meet and greet. I bought a brand new copy of his book, and he signed it. I still have it, and I told him my favorite part in his book was he was in WCW. He was Cactus Jack. He felt disrespected. He wrestled till his contract was out, and he believed in himself, and he took a chance when Vince McMahon brought him in for WWF at the time, became Mankind, and then, you know, what happened. You got to see how good the guy truly was.
Dude, that's
But
yeah, that's huge.
he seemed shocked that I said that, either because I remember that part of the book or because that was my favorite part, maybe a little bit of both. Who knows? He had a super long line too. Didn't really get the chance to ask him. I met Teddy Long. He had a bit of a lighter turnout. Not 100% sure why. That may have been because maybe too many people didn't really know who he was. Because, I mean, he's just a guy coming out and making either random ass tag team matches or somebody randomly going one on one with The Undertaker. And when I
Yes.
met him before, I actually asked him that. I said, have you made anyone go one on one with The Undertaker yet? He looks at me, he's like, you're about to.
Dude,
Says it
that's
with a huge smile on his face.
dude. I guarantee you that that's his favorite part. Whenever anybody comes up to him, and is if they're an asshole, he's just gonna say, "You're going one on one with the Undertaker today," or if they just start doing his little dance. Yeah.
I didn't see anybody do that, but also I'm glad I didn't because nobody can. No, don't try to dance like Teddy Long. Only Teddy Long can do it. But yeah, he was super nice. And then I also mentioned I met DDP. He didn't have a crazy long line, but he still had a bit of a line. So he was also pretty nice too. He was, truthfully, he was a lot nicer than I thought he was going to be.
You kind of are always rolling the dice when you don't really know how the person is. Like, you've never heard any stories. And that's what actually scared me about the Hardys. I had heard some people say that they were nice. I had heard people say that Jeff was super quiet and that Matt was an ass. Like, I've heard so many mixed reactions. I was scared shitless because of the nostalgic feeling that I have about Jeff. I was scared shitless.
Because I remembered the same convention I met DDP. Sorry to cut you off. I had to.
You're fine. You're
I
fine.
was gonna forget about this if I didn't mention it. I actually did meet Matt Hardy, and he was really nice. And surprisingly, he didn't really have anybody in line. So me and my girlfriend had at the time we got to talk to him for a minute, and I probably crossed the line, but it was legit curious person to person. I just asked him how Jeff was doing because you hear all these things that you relapse this that blah blah blah, and he said. And he looked at me and he said he's doing good, and I said, okay, that's good to hear, and I really hope it stays that way. And then this is probably the most line crossing thing I did, which is ironic because our first episode was overstepping fans.
Yeah.
I also met in a meet and greet Mike Rotunda or Irwin R. Shyster, however you know him as. Anyway, long story short, who's he? He's Bray Wyatt's dad. And I did this without thinking. I looked right at him after, got an 8x10 from him and took a picture with him. I looked at him and I said, if you don't mind me asking, how's Wyndham doing? I didn't think to say Bray Wyatt. I said his real name because his real name's Wyndham Rotunda, and he's doing good. He had some complications from COVID, and me and my friend were like, "Oh, we really hope he gets better." So yeah, I forgot about that. He was pretty nice about it. Kind of feel like maybe he seemed annoyed that I used his son's real name, but I truthfully said it without thinking. If he'd have shown like, "Hey, don't ask me that," I'd have apologized.
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes you don't know, and sometimes when you're in a moment, you. I know I've done that where I've asked a question or anything, because like before I heard that Britt and Adam Cole broke up, I met Britt at a con last year. I asked how Adam was doing because it was while he was still rehabbing his ankle. She said, "Oh, he's doing good. He's down at the performance center that we have starting to run the ropes and everything, starting to get a little bit better." Like, "Oh, that's great." And exactly like that. That's great. Hope it stays that way. Hope he rehabs quickly and is back in the ring soon. I mean, yeah, that was before I heard anything about them breaking up. I don't know if at the time that I met, if they were still together or if they had been broken up yet. I don't know. I hope that they were, just for the fact that I hope I didn't cross the line or didn't upset anybody. But she's still smiled and had a great time, and it didn't seem like she looked at anybody to try to rush me along to get rid of me.
If that's the case, then obviously you didn't do anything wrong.
I certainly hope, because she was very, very nice. Yeah, man. You got anything else for us before we start our way out of here?
I mean, I'm good. I'll pass the torch on to you, and we'll start rolling on out.
All right. I do got one last thing before we go.
Here comes the Iron Lung flex.
Not quite, but there is one thing, and in our intro, I always get our editor to add a little thing about mental health. Fucking you scared the shit out of me, you asshole.
Definitely shall appear.
Love you, Spunk. But I always talk about mental health. It's because it's one thing that I battle a lot. Oh, freaking robots. One sec, I gotta ban somebody real quick. Come here. Come.
It makes it a bit easier for you to talk about. I've battled it too. I truthfully, minus a few certain friends, or unless I'm basically at or cross my breaking point, I'm someone who usually I won't talk about it. But if I do, then something's clearly wrong, and it's pretty bad.
But so it's something that I always like to touch on because it's something that I fight a lot, and it's something I enjoy actually talking more about, so that way I don't feel as alone in my head about it. But yesterday, and it's the reason why I actually brought up the one thing earlier. I sat and was watching the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday, and it was an episode with Jelly Roll, and it was about that whole thing. And then at the end of the show, they were talking, and Joe said, "Hey man, I gotta show you something." And he shows about like Jelly doing this performance at the on the stage that actually where he went and saw his first country artist live. And then said country artist also came on the screen and said, "Hey, proud of you about your recent accomplishments and everything that country music has done for you, blah blah blah." And then he says, "I would like to welcome you into it's like the country music award thing for this place." And Jelly just starts bawling, and I'm just like, dude, this is freaking amazing. Like, Jelly goes from being incarcerated. Yes.
Okay.
Jelly got invited to that. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is fucking huge for him. I mean, I know nothing about country music awards and things. I'm the farthest thing from knowledgeable about that. But he got into this thing. I had to ask my coworker today because he's a big country guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's this." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's like him winning a championship. That's huge. That's amazing." Yeah, Jelly going from being incarcerated to saying, man, and then finding a way to kind of cope while incarcerated with country music, and then getting out of jail, going to this show, and then actually performing at said same venue, and then having this happen to him. Like, that's fucking huge, dude. If Jelly can lose all that weight, first of all, and can have all this shit happen while battling things in his head and everything, dude, that's amazing. And I just gotta say, man, it got me thinking about somebody that means a lot to me that I actually have lost contact with, and I need to go and talk to him again. But he is somebody that it bestowed a bunch of confidence into me by kind of working around my head. And it's my friend Mad Viking King. MVK, I fucking love you, man. I hope we can talk soon. But he did a big subathon, and he sent out these little postcards. I was trying to find it before the show, but he has a one-liner in it that I sometimes use as my turtleism whenever I'm ending podcasts. I always have like a little one-liner thing for a little bit of a boost through the week, if I may. But he wrote it inside of it, but it's also something he messaged me, and it's something he told me anytime that we talked. And he said, if you don't have the confidence in yourself, then believe in the me that believes in you.
I really like that. That's good. I like that.
I fucking bawled my eyes out the first time he said that to me. And then when I got the little card with him saying it, I cried again. Because, dude, confidence is that thing I never had, and it's something I still don't have, but it's something that works for me. Is, hey, I don't have it in myself, but I can believe in you. So kind of doing the circle with that, dude, oh man, it fucking worked. And I love it. But
I can relate to you there too, because I've never been a fan of people that are super cocky, but confidence is also something I've also struggled with. I guess you could say pretty much my whole life. I mean, if you remember, because you and I have been friends for a really long time, we went to high school together. And side note, it's funny you mentioned about feeling old because you're younger than me. You're 30, I'm 31. But high school, if you remember high school, I played football because I think we met freshman year and we've been friends ever since. I played football all throughout high school. I'll admit I wasn't the best player, but I feel like I had the best work ethic. But I'll admit I'm probably going to get some heat from this, but I'll come out and say it. Didn't exactly have too many decent teammates. Well, then you fast forward to 2018 when I started racing motorcycles, which is what I've always wanted to do. And then started racing in 2018. 2021, I started racing flat track full time, which is what I do now. And I'm surprised it wasn't as obvious, but there was talk of, oh, this guy, he sucks, he's unsafe, he's dangerous to ride with, he shouldn't be out there, he should go do something else, whatever. Well, even though I'm pretty hard-headed, so I didn't listen, it was starting to get to me. Well, at some point in 2021, a guy from New York who I've gotten to know pretty well, his name's Kenny Dolan. I got to meet him because I heard he did a school. Come to find out, when I approached him about doing it, he had actually been watching me and was trying to figure out a good time to approach me about helping me out.
that's awesome.
And it's been a slow process. Excuse me. It's been a slow process. I'll admit that, but Kenny's never stopped working with me. But the big thing to me is Kenny was the first person to, instead of wanting to tell me to go away, he was the first one to be like, "Hey, I can see that you want to get better. I'll help you, but you've got to be willing to do it." And fast forward to 2023, I want to say, got out of a year and a half relationship with a girlfriend I've mentioned a few times in this episode, and
Rubber Reggie.
the short, huh?
Rubber Reggie. Scary.
The short and long story, she didn't like racing and wanted me out of it, and I had practically lost all confidence in myself, was really struggling, felt like I wasn't going to get better despite all the work and effort I was putting into it. Well, her and I split. I met another one of my rider coaches now, Max Harvat, who has really, really helped me out. Max might be a character, but let me tell you, working with him and having him help me has really been a huge help, just as much as Kenny Nolan. And funny thing about that is the first race I had after that relationship ended, which was the same day I met Max and started working with him. That first race where I'm out of what turned out to be a bad relationship, just didn't know it. It's the same day I met Max, got on the podium.
Damn.
First podium I had in close to, yeah, first podium I had in close to 2 years.
Hell yeah.
And since then, still had some struggles, still got a long way to go, which I know I'm going to hear if Max even listens to this, which I doubt he will. But yeah, I understand struggling with confidence, and just a little over a year ago in October, I was at a race in New York, 8 days off of having some dental work done, spent 2, 3 days doing two things: spitting up blood or sleeping. A couple days after that, I'm out racing, and there was this track we raced on, and something, I've never been one to be cocky and talk about how good I am, but something just clicked. I went out there, I won both heat races, and was able to lead the main event, pillar to post, and won the race. And I told my best friend on the way home, I was like, "Yeah, dude," I was like, "We had a break after all the heat races were done." I was like, "I went out, just walked around the track, and I was just like," and I told him, I was like, "Dude," I said to myself, I was like, "If I get the whole shot, I can win this." And he's like, "Well, he's like, you just find confidence you've been missing that day." So
There you
yeah,
go.
I get it.
Yeah, it's something that it's a battle, and it's all up here. It's all up there. A friend of mine, a new friend of mine, he tells me all the time, dude, just have some confidence in yourself. I know you can do it. It's the same guy that's trying to get me to do the insurance gig that I'm trying to do. He just continues to tell me, just a little bit more today, a little bit more confidence in yourself today. Use that, speak a little bit more with that backbone. Come on, I know it's in there. Got it. And
Start Coney Jake from State Farm now.
not that kind of insurance. But yeah, I mean, it's a battle for all of us. We'll all find our way with it. Anyways, before we get on to another tangent, I know we just got onto another one. Is there anything else that we need to touch on before we go?
I feel pretty good. I feel we've taken fate and twisted it pretty good. And honestly, if you didn't think we were serious and didn't think we were gonna do another episode, let alone keep this going, obviously, joke's on you. We're back again, and Charles gonna drag me back for episode 3.
Hell yeah. All right, let's do it. Finding a track you just feel. So, believe in you. Thank you, Spunk. Thank you so much. All right, so two, yeah, right. 2 weeks puts us at Christmas weekend, so Friday the 26th or Saturday the 27th. Which one do you want to call for our next episode?
Honestly, we're probably going to have to play that by ear because let's be honest, the holidays is a great, crazy time for anybody. So we may record again after Christmas. We may not because what comes literally immediately after Christmas, New Year's. So maybe 2 weeks, which is our recording schedule goal, or maybe a bit longer because we get 2 holidays back to back. We may decide
Cheddar Day on a Saturday.
we may decide, hey, our schedules are crazy, but yeah, bottom line, after this, you are going to get episode 3. I've said it, 20 million times.
Yeah.
If you didn't take it seriously in episode 1, the joke's on you.
Yeah. All right.
There's more than one reason why the show is called Twisted by Fate.
Yes. All right. You good? Got anything?
I'm good.
All right.
The only thing I got is once we jump off here, I'm going to try to relax and get some sleep. Got a big race tomorrow. Gonna need confidence, which we talked about. I can promise you it's my favorite event, so I'm gonna have a hell of a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And I haven't been able to ride in over a month, and I am so looking forward to getting out and riding again,
dude. Stop it, pull it, twist it by fate. Yo.
Actually, there is one thing I want to announce. If anyone's cared to notice, whatever, I gotta throw this out because it's a good family friend and an awesome local business. Because big believer in helping out local business. I did pick up a new sponsor for 2026 racing season. Is Ginger by Glam. It is basically a cosmetologist who is a very good family friend. Her name is Lisa. She has a shop over in Hagerstown, Maryland. Again, it's called Ginger Glam. The last 3 years, she has cut my hair. She has styled it, colored it, whatever. She colored my hair pink a couple years ago for breast cancer awareness.
Hell
if anyone's noticed, my hair was bleached earlier today and it was cut.
There you go.
And she's been a good family friend for a long time now. And I asked her today, hey, I'd like for you to sponsor me, and immediately she said yes. So yeah, picked up a great local business as a sponsor for 2026, and really just wanted to get that out there because if you live in the Hagerstown area, or even if you live in, say, Greencastle, Pennsylvania, or even up in Chambersburg, where I'm assuming Turtle probably still is, look up Ginger Glam on Google and go see Lisa. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you. She's been cutting my hair for years. She's done my family. So yeah.
Hell yeah, Spunk. Yeah, you should make the 40-hour drive on over here. Make your way from Washington on over here. Get your hair cut, and then you can drive on back, or I'll fly you back, whichever one you want. All right.
I'm not saying come across the country, but if he wants to, do it. I'm telling you, anyone who goes to Ginger Glam and sees Lisa, you will not be disappointed. I promise you.
Fuck yeah. Alrighty, guys. This is where us from our Twisted by Fate show, myself, Turtle, this is where Grasshopper, we bid you adieu. Y'all have a great night. Mwah. And goodbye. Bang.
Keep it twisted.
Welcome, dear listeners.